Sione Tuitupu Lauaki was a powerhouse Tongan-born rugby union loose forward who earned 17 caps for the All Blacks between 2005 and 2008, scoring 3 tries, and made 70 appearances for the Chiefs in Super Rugby, crossing the try line 14 times. Born June 22, 1981 in Haʻapai, Tonga, he moved to New Zealand as a teen, attending Waitākere College and Kelston Boys High School before shining for Auckland and Waikato in provincial rugby. In 2004, he featured for the Pacific Islanders team, impressively scoring test match tries against Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa. Making his All Blacks debut in 2005 against Fiji, Lauaki went on to represent New Zealand in the 2007 Rugby World Cup. He moved to France in 2010, signing with Clermont-Auvergne and later Bayonne. In 2012, routine tests in France revealed renal failure and cardiovascular issues, forcing him off the field and into early retirement. After a prolonged battle with heart and kidney disease, Lauaki passed away in Auckland on February 12, 2017, at the age of 35, surrounded by family. Known affectionately as Wax, he was celebrated for his brute strength, lethal athleticism, joyous personality, and deep loyalty, cherished by teammates, fans, and the rugby community alike. Daniel Joseph Vickerman was a towering presence in Australian rugby, playing as a lock for both the Brumbies and Waratahs, and earning 63 caps for the Wallabies between 2002 and 2011. Born June 4, 1979 in Cape Town, South Africa, he moved to Australia in 2001, made his Super Rugby debut that same year, and became a fixture in the national team, featuring in 3 Rugby World Cups, 2003, 2007, 2011. After a shoulder injury led him to retire in 2008, he pursued studies at Cambridge University, playing for their varsity side and joining Northampton Saints in England. He returned to Australia in 2011 for one final test season, helping secure a Tri-Nations title and reach the World Cup semi-finals before retiring in 2012 due to leg stress fractures. Post-rugby, Vickerman devoted himself to assisting his peers through roles with the Rugby Union Players Association and mentoring young athletes. His death on February 18, 2017 at his Sydney home, confirmed as suicide, rocked the rugby world. He is survived by his wife, Sarah, and 2 sons. A commemorative fixture, the Dan Vickerman Cup, was established later that year between his former teams, a lasting tribute to a fiercely competitive player and beloved teammate. Ellie Norquette was a Welsh rugby union winger who played for Swansea Ladies and the Ospreys, earning 4 caps for the Wales women's national team between 2014 and 2017. Born May 30, 1996 in Ribchester, Lancashire, and raised in Landersea, Neath Port Talbot, she attended Neath Port Talbot College before reading sports development at Cardiff Metropolitan University, where she featured in back-to-back Bucks rugby finals at Twickenham and excelled in University Sevens competitions. Norquette made her senior debut as a 17-year-old substitute against France in the 2014 Six Nations Championship and was the youngest member of the Wales squad at that year's Women's Rugby World Cup. She also represented Wales in Sevens and captained the Great Britain Students' Sevens side. On the evening of February 25, 2017, the 20-year-old sustained fatal injuries in a 2-car collision on the A40-109 Intervalley Road near Glynneath, Neath Port Talbot, when her Toyota Yaris collided with a Vauxhall Insignia at around 7:40 p.m. A 42-year-old driver and her 12-year-old passenger suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Her family paid tribute to a kind-hearted and caring young woman who was loved and valued by many. Lloyd Williams was a distinguished Welsh international rugby union scrum half whose career spanned the 1950s and early 1960s. Born October 19, 1933 in Taftswell, Rhondda Cynon Wales, he emerged from a remarkable rugby family. He was one of 8 brothers who all represented Cardiff RFC, most notably his elder brother Lloyd Williams, the legendary Lion centre. After excelling at Taft's Wells School and Carfilly Secondary School, where he won the Dewar Shield with Cardiff schools, Williams made his senior debut for Cardiff RFC in September 1952, rapidly earning a reputation for his diving pass and tenacious defense around the fringes of rucks and scrums. Over 12 seasons, he amassed 310 first-team appearances for Cardiff and 64 for the Barbarians, and he served with distinction in the Royal Air Force during his playing days. Internationally, Williams won 13 caps for Wales between 1957 and 1962, captaining his country on 3 occasions in the 1961-62 season, and notably leading the side against Scotland at Murrayfield and Cardiff. Known as a ninth forward for his physicality and strategic acumen, he was once a reserve when Cardiff famously defeated the All Blacks in 1953. After hanging up his boots following a final club appearance against Newport in April 1964, Williams continued to shape the game off the field, serving on the Cardiff Rugby Committee for 21 seasons. He passed away on February 25, 2017 at the age of 83, and his legacy endures in Welsh rugby folklore as a leader, innovator, and embodiment of the sport's enduring spirit. Yos Vander Westhuizen, born Johannes Rudolphus Joost van der Westhuizen on February 20, 1971 in Pretoria, emerged as one of rugby union's most dynamic and tenacious scrum halves, earning 89 caps for the Springboks between 1993 and 2003. Known for his lightning-fast service from the base of the scrum, his fearless tackling, and his uncanny ability to snatch possession at the breakdown, Jos played a pivotal role in South Africa's 1995 Rugby World Cup triumph, famously scoring one of the most memorable tries of the tournament in the semi-final against France. Throughout his career, he amassed 190 points, captained his nation on multiple occasions, and was widely celebrated for redefining the role of the modern scrum half with his blend of grit, skill, and leadership. After retiring from professional rugby, Van der Westhuizen remained in the public eye, establishing the J9 Foundation in 2009 to support research and care for those living with motor neuron disease, MND, the condition with which he had been diagnosed that same year. Despite bravely battling the progressive illness, publicly sharing his struggle and raising awareness of MND until his strength waned, Jost's legacy extended far beyond the field. He became a symbol of courage and resilience, inspiring countless fans and fellow athletes worldwide. On February 6, 2017, just shy of his 46th birthday, Yos Vander Westhuizen succumbed to complications from motor neuron disease in Pretoria. Claude Bryan's Stack Stevens was one of Cornwall's most celebrated rugby union props, whose rugged forward play and unexpected agility made him a standout in the amateur era. Born June 2, 1940 in Godolphin, Cornwall, the youngest of 6 children, Stevens learned his craft with Penzance Newlyn, later Cornish Pirates, and briefly with Harlequins before anchoring the Cornwall front row with 83 caps and captaining the county side from 1973 to 1975. Despite his roots in the far west, he earned 25 England caps between 1969 and 1975, debuting against South Africa at Twickenham in December 1969, and even captained his country for a test in 1971. That same year, he was selected for the British and Irish Lions tour to New Zealand, becoming part of the only Lions side to triumph on Kiwi soil until that point. Perhaps his most famous moment came in 1973 at Eden Park, when he chased down a loose all-black clearance to touch down the historic try that helped England to their first victory over New Zealand in New Zealand, a feat he later modestly compared to running with a runaway bullock. Off the field, Stevens was a dedicated farmer and a quiet family man, marrying Jane Vingo in 1980 and leaving 2 sons, John, who went on to play for the Cornish Pirates, and Sam. He battled a rare neurological condition in later life and passed away in St. Austell at the age of 77, prompting tributes across the rugby world to a player who combined strength, skill, and genuine Cornish grit. William Patrick Willie Dugen was born on March 12, 1950 in Kilkenny, and emerged from local club rugby at Sundays well before making his mark at Blackrock College RFC and Kilkenny RFC, where his combative style and iron will as a number 8 first drew attention. Over nearly a decade in green, he earned 41 caps for Ireland between his debut against England in 1975 and his swan song as captain in 1984, captaining the side with characteristic grit and rugby intelligence that belied his admitted disdain for training and notorious penchant for smoking, even famously handing a cigarette to referee Alan Hosey as he ran onto the pitch against France. His fearsome reputation earned him a place on the British and Irish Lions' 1977 tour to New Zealand, where he played in all 4 tests, and he remains one of the few Irish forwards to test himself against the All Blacks on equal terms. Teammate and later IRFU President Phillip remembered him as a warrior with an extraordinary rugby brain, while Moss Keane Riley noted that Dugan's sole red card in a 1977 Five Nations fixture felt more like a courtesy exit for a player, buggered anyway. Off the field, Dugan inherited and ran Willie Dugen Lighting Limited in Kilkenny, living in Dunmore with his wife Ellen and their children, Willie JNR, Helena, and Monica. On August 28, 2017, at age 67, he suffered a fatal aneurysm at his home, prompting an outpouring of tributes across Irish rugby and beyond. Born Karel Thomas van Volenhovven on April 29, 1935 in Bethlehem, Free State, Tom van Volenhovven emerged as one of rugby's most electrifying talents. At just 20 years old, he was selected for the Springboks' 1955 series against the British Lions and repositioned to the wing for the second test in Cape Town, became the first Springbok ever to score a home soil hat-trick in a single match, helping his side to a 25-9 victory. After 7 Union caps and 4 test tries, he switched codes in 1957 to join St. Helens, where his searing speed and elusive artistry quickly made him a sensation in rugby league. Over 10 seasons, he amassed a club record 392 tries in 409 appearances, including a staggering 62 try haul in 1958-59, and twice equaled St. Helens' record with 6 tries in 1 game. His memorable length of the field efforts in the 1958-59 championship final at Odsal and the 1961 Challenge Cup final at Wembley stand among the greatest individual feats in league history. In recognition of his extraordinary career, he was inducted into the Rugby League Hall of Fame in 2000. Van Volenhovven retired after a guest appearance in a 1968 Great Britain World Cup trial and passed away in South Africa on October 21, 2017 at the age of 82, leaving a legacy as one of rugby's all-time great wings. Neville Furlong was a celebrated Irish rugby union winger whose blend of speed, strength, and courage left a lasting mark on the game. Born July 10, 1968 in Waterford, Furlong first excelled at Gaelic football for Wexford at minor and under-21 levels before discovering rugby at University College Galway, where he also played hurling and represented the Irish University side. Commissioned into the Irish Army and attaining the rank of captain, he combined military discipline with athletic prowess, earning selection for Connacht and Garryowen FC, with whom he won an All-Ireland League title in 1995. In 1992, Furlong won 2 caps for Ireland during the famously close New Zealand tour. In the second test on June 6th, he scored what would prove to be the last 4-point try in international rugby history before the scoring system was altered later that year, an achievement celebrated by teammates and opponents alike. After retiring from playing, he devoted himself to coaching and administration, notably leading underage rugby at Garryowen, and also guided Patrickswell GAA to county semi-final and final appearances in 2005-06. Following a long and brave battle with cancer, Neville Furlong passed away peacefully at Milford Hospice on September 26, 2017, aged 49, leaving his wife Trish, sons Odrin and Kyle, and a wide circle of family and friends to mourn one of Ireland's most courageous sportsmen. John Fall, born on June 30, 1933 in Morriston, Wales, was a formidable rugby union player who combined skill, versatility, and leadership from the back division to the back row. The son of former international referee and Welsh Rugby Union president Will Fall, he was educated at Bromsgrove School, where he starred at centre before undertaking national service in the Royal Navy as a full-back. At just 20 years old, and playing only his third game for Swansea RFC in December 1953, Fall kicked 2 long-range penalties to secure a famous 6-6 draw with the touring All Blacks at St. Helens, demonstrating his composure under pressure and earning him immediate acclaim. By the end of the 1957-60 international cycle, he had won 12 caps for Wales, scoring 3 points, and in 1959 was selected for the British and Irish Lions tour of Australia and New Zealand. At 15 stone 10 pounds and 6 feet 3 inches, he was the heaviest and second tallest member of the squad and played in 4 of the 6 tests, including the historic victory over the All Blacks in Auckland, the only Lions side ever to win there up to that point, contributing 60 points on tour through tries, conversions, and penalties. Domestically, he made 211 appearances for Swansea, scoring 359 points, captained the club in 1962-63, and represented the Barbarians, and the Barbarians win over Australia in 1958. Off the field, he married on Monday upon his return from a Lions tour, and the couple raised 3 children, Jonathan, Isabel, and Antonia, while living at Old Walls, Gower. After a long illness, John Fall passed away on June 21, 2017, aged 83, leaving a legacy as one of Wales's most respected number 8s and a true gentleman of the game.